So for today's agenda, we're going to be taking a look at how to promote equity, productivity, and collaboration in the new hybrid office. I know many of us are thinking about returning to the office. Probably a lot of you are already back. And if not, then you certainly have plans in the very near future to return. So some of the topics we'll be addressing today are: how do we create more natural and immersive meeting experiences? And how do we boost productivity in virtual and hybrid meetings? And how can we provide opportunities for collaboration everywhere in the office, from the lobby to the huddle room? So we're going to take a look at a few of those different use cases as we go, and you'll hear from both Scott and myself on each of these different use cases. And as I mentioned, we'll have Q&A too. So Scott, do you want to tell us a little bit about our relationship with Zoom?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see, DTEN and Zoom have been very closely aligned as partners in the meeting experience and collaboration since 2017. What DTEN is known for is being an innovation leader. We built the first all-in-one solution for Zoom rooms. It is the flagship device that has brought that meeting with the whiteboarding, the content sharing, the annotation, all of that together into a single device, which was joint developed and co-engineered by DTEN and Zoom together. So that means our microphones are optimized, the meeting experience is optimized, so you get the best possible performance on a DTEN device when you're using Zoom rooms. Another great thing about DTEN is we are industry leading in simplicity. We like to say, plug it in, it just works. Our devices need power. They can connect to Wi-Fi. You easily log in with your Zoom credentials, and boom, the experience is there right on an all-in-one device. So as you see today, we continue to work with Zoom, continue to innovate our current products, and you'll see some new products that we're also bringing to market that even cement DTEN as the hardware of choice for Zoom rooms.
Great. And so, why is equity and creating opportunities for flexibility and collaboration, why is that so important? And why has that become a business imperative? We've got some facts here on the screen that I think are really important. On the left, human-centric work design, featuring flexible work experiences, intentional collaboration opportunities, and empathic management, empathetic rather, can increase productivity and performance by 54%. This is based on a Gartner study that recently came out, which I think is a pretty powerful statement. And just looking at some of the facts from the last 2 years, right, we've been getting used to working hybrid, working remote. We've all become very good at this over time, right? So we've seen 44% increase in our use of collaboration tools. And in the last year, only a third of our meetings were held in person, which I think is pretty eye-opening. Well over half of us will consider flexibility, and if we want to return to the office, in our decisions for employment in the future. And looking at 2024, right, we're only going to see that number continue with virtual meetings and hybrid work. That's not going anywhere. So as Scott mentioned, a lot of the benefits of DTEN combined with Zoom rooms and Zoom software, they give you a lot of these benefits, right? Scott, did you want to speak to some of these benefits?
Absolutely. So, one thing that when we design these new projects with Zoom, we're really thinking about some key things, and that's flexibility. We constantly talk to facilities managers and facilities planners, and the multi-use space is becoming more important in their designs. So developing products and features that provide flexibility for all spaces has been paramount. They also have to be consistent. So these experiences of possibly working from home one day, returning to the office the next day, using different meeting rooms and personal workstations, that experience needs to be consistent. So the correct hardware and the correct software can really, kind of level the playing field, the learning curve of using software, using the hardware for your hybrid teams across campuses, from home, and obviously returning to the office. We're also looking at enhanced productivity. So it's not just the devices they're cold, not being used. We strive for adoption. We strive for workers, teachers, students to become more productive using the technology and the collaboration tools that we're developing. Another key important issue is inclusion. So having that remote worker, having the student at home, having the teacher or other workers in the office, we want to create inclusion where everyone feels that the meeting equity is shared and they're heard and they're seen and they can contribute the same regardless of their physical location. And then last is safety. So as we know, there are some very specific safety measures that have come out of COVID, which are more important. Still social distancing, some of those things are important, but we've also seen new data on touch and being in that environment. So we've really identified the key safety measures that guests and your everyday employees should be using to stay safe as they return.
Great. So let's jump into one of the latest features to really promote that natural in-person meeting feeling, even when we're hybrid and remote. And that's Smart Gallery, right? So Smart Gallery, is a really great tool for maximizing that inclusion, productivity, and equity.
Yep, absolutely. So no longer are the mixed screens of people looking into the camera, people sitting at a table. We're really driving meeting equity with Zoom Smart Gallery feature. What that allows you to do is use the software to identify multiple participants in a room, perhaps at the same table, but give them their own screen, give them their own box. So when you're looking at a gallery view, you see everyone the same, and that leads to more inclusion, more meeting equity, because you feel like you're seen and heard, and it's much easier to collaborate during an online meeting. So it's a very immersive meeting experience. It's equal presence and inclusion, and this is some of the AI technology that's being developed to bring just a better meeting experience. And this is currently available on our D7. That's a 55-inch or 75-inch touchscreen display that will bring you that meeting equity using Zoom Smart Gallery.
Yeah, and there's, just touching on this topic, there's a really good question that was just asked about audience seating in Smart Gallery. And, one thing that's really important about Smart Gallery is, as Scott mentioned, right, and you can see it in the little image here on the right, when you're in the meeting, you get your own frame, you get your own box, like I'm sitting in right now. And so it's the same for remote participants. So the audience that may be at home, that might be remote or in another office, they have the same level of presence, right? Because they also have their own streaming box, like everybody else, have their own frame. So that's really important feature of Smart Gallery. And I think what would be really great, we recently shot a video at Zoom headquarters on how this works. So let's take a look at that really quick.
Today we're here to talk about Smart Gallery, which was originally released in 2021 on appliances to start with. However, today we support systems architecture. So your Windows-based machines now can support Smart Gallery. Today we're here to demonstrate that on a D10 D7, which has 4K camera capabilities. So the fidelity in this room is going to be phenomenal. Now what you're going to notice in this room with Smart Gallery that we've got it turned on, so we've introduced 2 additional feeds. Those feeds are able to capture each individual in the room. As folks are added to the conversation, the camera will automatically adjust for those additional participants. Now what's great about Smart Gallery is it's going to give us all an equal seat at the table, right? So folks sitting on the far end in a hybrid meeting experience, which we're all going to see for the foreseeable future, can see little things like nuances or facial expressions, which would typically have been lost in a larger conference room environment. So I personally love that Smart Gallery really democratizes the meeting experience for everyone involved. Today we're here.
Absolutely. You know, she said it best, right? It really democratizes the experience, so everyone feels the same amount of meeting equity. And we're finding that's super important and a big driver of the hybrid, you know, work type of environment that we're starting to see today. So, you know, Smart Gallery on the D7, it's available now, as you saw. It's currently working. There's some questions in the chat about the capabilities of Smart Gallery. So currently there are 3 boxes, and there's 2 types of different tech here happening with D10 cameras. We do have smart framing, which even in a single box, the D7 can separate 3 people in the room, give them their own frame. Those streams are then sent to Zoom, where it's presented in the gallery view of the meeting. This is, as we told you, there's you know, there's a statement up front about how much this is in development. It's currently you know, being worked on daily as far as the maximum amount of participants. The gallery view, you'll see that continue to grow. You'll continue to see the AI get stronger, and a lot of roadmap features built around Smart Gallery. So I highly suggest if you're a D7 owner today to upgrade to the latest version of Zoom Rooms, take it for a spin for yourself, and you'll see a really great result when you have multiple participants all in that meeting. And that's what's great. It happens behind the scenes. We're using EPTZ, we're using AI, we're using the Zoom software to do all of this for you. And that's why it's really powerful, right? No manual setup is involved in any of this. So highly suggest you upgrade, try this today on your D7, or reach out to D10 to take this product for a spin.
What's interesting about Smart Gallery too is it's one of those features that once you turn it on, you'll feel like you're missing something in any future meetings without it, because it adds so much to the experience. I know if Mark is here right now, he'd probably speak to that. That a lot of his clients that have used it, you know, they just can't go back. So very excited about that. So let's jump into talking about ways that we can boost productivity, because we're finding that, you know, using some of these new collaboration tools and features, right? Not only are we getting more like the way it was before when we were meeting in person, but it might actually be a better experience in many ways.
Absolutely. So as you know, the D10 products are designed for all of this, the inclusion, the collaboration aspect. You know, so we know that simplicity matters. That's why it's important that these features just work right out of the box, and we strive for that customer experience. So when you are returning and you have these mixed use shared spaces, these all-in-one devices really bring that equity and inclusion to life and provide those opportunities to continue meeting, continue collaborating, continue to be productive. And you know, one fantastic aspect of the D10 products are the digital whiteboards, being able to collaborate and then share those ideas, return to keep working on them. And there's some really fantastic advancements coming in that whiteboard experience that we're looking forward to telling you guys about.
So one thing, you know, we're talking about whiteboard. I think it would be really great to introduce our DTEN ME Pro. And if you guys aren't familiar with this product, I know Scott's on his right now. I've got mine right next to me. I use it every day. It's just a killer productivity tool, and it will include, you know, most of the features that we're rolling through today, including these new enhancements to Zoom Whiteboard, which we're gonna talk about in a minute.
Absolutely. So the DTEN ME Pro, it's a desktop 27-inch device. It's super powerful, and it brings just a whole new experience to working from home, to hot desking or hoteling in the office. And there's just so many fantastic use cases for this 27-inch device. It's really been a game changer in the Zoom ecosystem, and especially for D10. So what's great about this, it follows suit with the D10 product line with our built-in camera. The microphones are in there. Your 27-inch display is a touchscreen, and it comes with the Zoom Rooms application loaded directly on the device. So the out-of-box experience is unparalleled. The great thing about the Pro is being able to use that as your second monitor, and the USB-C connection allows those touchscreen functions to also enter into that environment, and you can use that virtually, on any application. We call that DTEN Smart Connect, and it's allowing your laptop, your BYOD device, to use our high-quality mic, high-quality camera, everything in there to drive it from your laptop, but still have the best meeting experience. And that quality level is consistent across the entire DTEN portfolio. And what we've really seen this find a home in is the new Workspace Reservations, allowing someone to re-enter the office, reserve a space. It doesn't have to be a room anymore. It can be anything. It can be a flex space. It can be a desk, a phone booth. We've really mixed up Pro. So I'm really excited to show you things like Workspace Reservations today to see the full treatment on what the DTEN ME Pro can do for your organization.
Cool. And let's take a look at just a quick video about the ME Pro. Cool. So we saw in that video a lot of references to the new Zoom Whiteboard. And certainly if you've been paying attention to Zoom Whiteboard, you're seeing a lot of Zoom's content being shown with the DTEN V7 and the DTEN ME Pro. So that'd be kind of a nice way of easing into it. And let's jump right back into another video really quick. So this is Zoom's video they produced all about their new Zoom Whiteboard.
An idea can start anywhere, but ideas become something bigger when collaboration happens. Zoom Whiteboards allow you to collaborate in real time and continue the project after meeting with your colleagues. It's easy for people anywhere to contribute to the same project, like escalating a call to a Zoom room. Collaborate with innovative features that make it simple for hybrid teams to interact in new ways, like using your tablet in companion mode. The easy-to-share and easy-to-access persistent Zoom Whiteboard means you can pick up right where you left off. Collaborate together in a Zoom Rooms for Touch. Add sticky notes, images, and annotations where needed. Or you can fully contribute to projects on Zoom Whiteboard, on your laptop, your mobile device, in different locations. The Zoom Rooms for Touch Whiteboard works as an extension of your virtual canvas, allowing groups of people to work on the same project together. And because Zoom Whiteboard's infinite canvas is virtual, users will be able to interact through a range of devices. Walk into any Zoom room and share your content wirelessly. It's advanced collaboration using the same easy-to-use and reliable video technology you know and love. With Zoom Whiteboard, get more done together.
Cool. So as I mentioned a second ago, you saw the DTEN D7, you saw the DTEN On, and you saw the DTEN ME Pro all in that video being a critical component to that whole ecosystem of creating whiteboards, sharing content, sharing it with other teammates, having them pick up the whiteboard, at their leisure, either at the same time or like later that day, or if they're on the other side of the world, they can open it, whenever they're working, if you're working at different hours. So really super excited about the new Zoom Whiteboard.
Yep, 100%. And, just to kind of go through some of the key feature upgrades and things that you saw in that video. You know, infinite canvas is a huge deal. So the ability to zoom in and out, to stretch that whiteboard, literally create an infinite amount of collaboration on a single whiteboard is fantastic. And that allows you to keep collaborating, keep contributing to a project without any boundaries by the frame or the device. The whiteboard will allow you to infinitely create the size that you need to get that project done. I really like persistent whiteboards, so they can be accessed at any time in any location. And that's a great thing about the Zoom whiteboard product as itself is you can bring that up on your DTEN ME Pro at home. You can bring that up on our new onboard when you return to the office, and you get that shareability, and you're able to contribute to that project as you need to. Another thing that's great are the drag and drop images. That's new. So we're used to shapes. We're used to being able to draw, but now being able to bring those reference photographs in or different images easily just by dragging them onto the whiteboard has been a fantastic experience. Sticky notes. We all love leaving notes. We all love being able to congratulate someone on their contribution or add notes for something you need done when it comes to productivity. So leaving those sticky notes for members of that whiteboard is a great advancement, and as well as the shapes and connectors. So we've had shapes, we've been able to draw a circle, draw a square, but now having the lines, the arrows to really connect those instantly is a great upgrade. And then sharing. I think the sharing function is one of the best parts about the new whiteboard experience. And since your whiteboard is attached to your Zoom resource, whether you're in your personal account, you're in a Zoom room, which is shared by your company or your organization, you can easily add anyone that you want to contribute to that product, share it with them, and allow just a brand new level of collaboration and inclusion that I think the Zoom whiteboard specifically brings to enhance productivity.
Well, and I think now would also be a great time to talk a little bit about the latest addition to the DTEN lineup, and that's the new DTEN Go with DTEN Mate.
Yeah, the great thing about the DTEN Go, it allows you to take an existing display that is not a touchscreen and use DTEN technology to still have an extremely similar experience to a D7 or an all-in-one touchscreen. So the DTEN Go is a very powerful AV bar that mounts on an existing display that might be non-touch and delivers that Zoom room experience. The consistency of the DTEN quality camera, the microphones, all of that stays the same. You're just literally using a display that's already existing as a touchscreen experience, and that comes along with our Mate. The DTEN Mate is our new handheld tablet, which uses some DTEN exclusive technology to present whiteboarding and a touch experience from the palm of your hand. It connects to the Go and allows some mirroring technology so you can annotate over content, you can contribute to your whiteboard, all from the Mate pad, and that will be shared on the screen, shared to other participants in or out of the meeting, and allows you to still have that familiar DTEN touchscreen experience using a non-touch display. So it's a fantastic new product to the lineup. And I think we've got some more detail on that, right, Jackson?
Yeah, absolutely. And stay tuned for more information on the DTEN Mate. There's a lot of really cool new things happening with that specific product as well. definitely the jazziest music I think on any of our videos.
It deserves it, you know, a super cool video for a super cool product, right? That's how I feel about it. And it's just bringing a whole new level to your bar and your tablet experience. And I'm really looking forward to everyone getting a chance to try out the Go and the Mate, because I think you will find that the experience across the entire product line, across, you know, all locations, is becoming the same. And that's going to increase productivity, inclusion, the adoption of the technology. And as you've seen, we've covered home, we've covered office spaces from single use to large rooms, all the way to facilities and spaces that you already have an existing display. And bringing the tools and the technology to every space has been really exciting to work on.
Yeah, and now we're going to jump into a very cool new feature from Zoom called Workspace Reservations. And what I think is really interesting about this new feature is that it allows you to create these opportunities to engage and collaborate with your team members virtually anywhere in the office, right? So literally from the lobby to the huddle room, you know, you can create an engaging Zoom room space anywhere. Let's take a look.
So the Workspace Reservations platform is a really exciting tool that will allow you and your users to use the Zoom platform that you already work in, the Zoom Rooms environment, and connect them to spaces when they're needed. So, you know, it can be leveraged by your daily in-office workers looking to return maybe just for that day, and they might not have a specific assigned desk or an office any longer, because these, you know, these facilities are becoming much more flexible. And what Workspace Reservations allows you to do is reserve a desk or a room or an environment before you arrive. And then it allows you to check into that device, bringing your own Zoom credentials with you, your content, your calendar, and you're able to use that space for the day, check in, check out at your leisure, and then someone else can then enjoy that space next. So it's a very powerful software tool and experience, and DTEN is heavily relied on to bring this experience into reality. So you'll see the DTEN Me as your hot desk, the Me Pro. You'll see DTEN devices on the front end to be your map and your scheduling display. And DTEN can provide the entire hardware solution to bring Workspace Reservations to life for your organization today.
I know that Mark couldn't join us this morning, but you're about to see him in a minute use Workspace Reservations to check in at his lobby at Zoom headquarters.
Many of our customers over the past 18 months have said, Zoom, what are you doing to safely return us to the office? And also, how do we excite the employee base to want to go back? Everybody got used to the hybrid environment, or sorry, working from home remotely. But now as we go back in the hybrid environment, we've done some really cool things here to enable that once the Zoomies start returning to the office. So we want to share that with you guys today. All the stuff that we've done here, we collaborated with the DTEN team in order to make this possible. And again, like Scott said, we need to make it simple, right, to deploy these things. They can't be complex integrated rooms. That's another thing we're getting from our customers is we need to have simplicity so that we can scale this. And I would say that, you know, I think we've accomplished that with the Zoom and DTEN team. So we're going to give you the experience right from when I walk through the actual front desk here, or sorry, the front doors here at Zoom headquarters. And you're going to notice some really cool things, whether it's a Zoomie or it's an actual visitor. So let's take the tour. So as I walk through over here, the first thing you're going to notice is that we normally have a live receptionist person here up front. Well, today, guess what? Our receptionist is working remotely. So basically what we have here is the DTEN Me. And what we're doing here is we have it in what's called Kiosk Mode, running virtual receptionist application. So right when I walk in, again, whether I'm a customer or I'm a visitor, I simply come over here, click on the button, and what's going to happen is it's going to go find me a receptionist in the background. And basically what's going to happen is I'm going to, here we go. So, hey Mona, how are you?
Hello.
Hey, I have a group of webinar folks here that we want to just take into our office. Is that okay if we visit here today?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mona. See ya. So how cool was that? I clicked one button, and just like that, I was connected to Mona.
Yeah, so right, we had to kind of cut that clip short, but the idea being, DTEN Me as your virtual receptionist in kiosk mode. You saw Mark walk right up to the DTEN Me, simply touch the screen, and it found a receptionist person that he could talk to who could help him find his spot in the office for that day.
Absolutely, and the Me, the 27-inch, that was one of its first homes in the return to office, was this virtual receptionist kiosk mode. It started as a single tap where you could call someone virtually to get checked into a building, to find help, to speak to someone about what to do next, just to limit that close contact in-person communication. Now you can deploy that remotely from anywhere. So kiosk is a very powerful feature that you can run on a DTEN Me at the front of your lobby to greet your guests. And we've seen some really great use cases here, spinning out into calling for help, calling for IT support, customer service. We even have some retailers giving fashion advice through kiosk mode. So the use cases here are endless, and it looks like we're starting with that original deployment, right? Kiosk mode. And we'll move through these slides and you'll see how that has evolved into Workspace Reservations, and how kiosk mode now includes both of these functions, which is great. So one Zoom room license, you get kiosk mode. You can call that receptionist. You can also bring up your Workspace Reservation Map. Yep, so what's great about this, you'll see it's moved into this wayfinding map. So it's generally been called wayfinding, a reservation system, and these things used to be extremely expensive to deploy, both the hardware and the software licensing you need. What's great about this is our hardware is incredibly affordable, so you can scale your projects to really meet the needs of your facility. But also a single Zoom Rooms license is going to deploy kiosk mode, which includes both virtual receptionist and workspace reservations. So you'll see there on the left, we have a mock-up of a lobby where you can use a 55-inch device to display your map, and then the DTEN Me as your virtual receptionist. And those are just two products that you can bring in to completely deploy an end-to-end solution on returning that original entrance into the lobby or into a floor or a facility. And we'll go through here how that whole works and what it's going to look like for you. So it's super easy to set up on the back end. You can instantly create the maps. You can place your rooms, you can place your desks directly from the Zoom admin portal. So it is web-based. You can see some of the functionality here where you simply click add room, add desk. You drag and drop and create your own floor map just directly from the back end of the Zoom admin portal. Then you assign those into different resources where you can check in and out. And we'll see how that works here on the next slide. So you can view the openings. Your map will pop up. The green spaces are available. The red spaces are reserved. So it also allows you to see who's working that day, what general area they might be in. So you can easily organize teams or collaborators and book those openings on site or remotely. Either way, you're going to take advantage of that. Of the reservation system, the portal, and seeing what spaces are available to you. Once you decide that is your space, that's where I'm going to work here for the day, you easily click on that space, add reserve, and you're going to check in with your personal device. So the Zoom app on your phone will easily bring up this experience where you scan a QR code that says this space is reserved by this person. You then head to that room or that space for the day. You find your device and you rescan the QR code, and that logs you into that device. your contacts will be there, your calendars will be there. And it's a really great feature that makes it super easy, not only to reserve it, but also log into that device. So you have a personal experience when you get there. You can do your work, have your calls, have your meetings, work on your whiteboards, whatever you need to do that day to be productive. And then just as easily as it is to book it, you can release it. You log out of that device and then it's available for someone else. And this can be anywhere from a single desk up to a flex space, to a huddle room, to a conference room. Any of those type of options are available as you build your floor map and build available spaces that can be reserved.
Well, I know that check-in, check-out feature is so easy. I think Zoom did such an amazing job on making it so easy to just check right into the desk that you reserved on the map.
And you'll see here how easy that is, right? And it's as simple as holding your phone up to a QR code, communicating with Zoom who you are, where you want to be, and that's all done right there from the palm of your hand. And then once you get to your desk, you'll see this new environment on our DTEN ME Pro, which says, hey, this is reserved. This is who it's reserved by. This is the time they expect to be here. And you easily scan that QR code and that logs you into that device. And you'll see on the screen that your photo, your profile is in that device. It's your account, it's your contacts, it's your calendar, which it couldn't be any more simple to execute a hybrid type of workspace environment using Workspace Reservations.
Cool, and I've got a recording actually of Mark checking into a phone booth they have at Zoom headquarters. Let's take a look. Actually, I think we're having some technical difficulties with that video, so we'll skip on. But it's essentially the idea being that in your office, you can deploy these, what they call phone booths, essentially at Zoom headquarters. And it's a small, intimate meeting space with the DTEN ME. You simply check it out at the Workspace Reservations screen display, or if it's a DTEN ME there, walk into the room, check in with your phone, and that space is yours for however long you need to use it. And you simply check out and leave. It's an excellent way to deploy these shared, flexible workspaces.
Absolutely, and there's no boundaries on the device or the space. Workspace Reservations, the front end using a 55-inch or a 75-inch DTEN device, the touch screen as your map. You can zoom around the floor, you can stretch it in and out, and you can reserve any type of space from that touch screen. Easily find the location you need to work. And those are not, dependent on size either. You can grab a one-person phone booth. You can grab a single hot desk for the day, a huddle room for a few people, all the way up to your full team in a large conference room. So it's really deployed, to be, optimized for inclusion and adoption. So when you're using Zoom at home, you're using Zoom at the office, everything's familiar. It's super simple, and the right hardware, the DTEN devices, really brings that experience home and gets your users more productive, more adoptive of the technology. And you'll find that the usage goes through the roof when these type of different devices and feature sets are rolled out within your organization.
So I think to sum up a lot of the things that we talked about this morning, I know we covered a tremendous amount of content and use cases and new products to consider, right? It really all comes back to promoting equity, boosting productivity, and fostering collaboration in the new hybrid office, right? So you're designing your spaces for flexibility, for inclusion, and ease of use is such a critical component of that equation, right? And it really has become a business imperative, right? I just pulled up in the beginning of this of our presentation today some numbers from Gartner just about how important it is for employees to feel like they have that flexibility when they go back into the office to maintain that autonomy that we've become so used to having every single day. And you really can include a lot of the aspects of that if you can build your spaces, adequately for the hybrid office. And as Scott talked a lot about, providing these consistent experiences across all of these different use cases, right? You start a whiteboard in your personal workstation, you pull it up in a meeting room, you pull it up in a commons area, right? And there's that consistency across every single space. So none of your team members are walking into a room or walking into a meeting and not knowing how to use the tech or fumbling with getting to the actual meat of the presentation. And that ends up being friction to collaboration. It creates barriers to these meaningful connections that we're all trying to make. And lastly, just enabling real-time collaboration, I think is a central thread to all of this. And collaboration is so key. And it's something that we've become so masterful at over the last 2 years that we've been working remotely, is finding those opportunities to connect eye to eye, connect on a single piece of content, whether it's a Google document that we're all working on in real time. And there are ways to take that shared working collaboration and bring it back into the physical space while maintaining a lot of this hybrid work environment and the great benefits that we've learned over the last few years.
Absolutely. And as we know, the webinar is there to just inform, let you guys know what is available, what we're working on, but really, until you can touch a DTEN device, experience a DTEN device, try this stuff out for yourself. That's really what is, the game-changing part of this journey for you as a customer. So what we'd like you to do is reach out to us. We are completely prepared for a one-on-one consultation, not just with a DTEN rep, but also a Zoom rep, a Zoom Rooms specialist. And we're able to guide you in the right decision-making, some suggestions on what features and what products are really going to benefit your organization and bring this stuff off the screen into real life. It's happening now. It's available now. The devices are ready. The software is ready. So please, we'd love for you to scan the QR code. Please reach out to us. We know there's some extra questions here in the Q&A, and we're prepared to answer those questions and set up a discussion so you can be successful with the right hardware and the right software. So please reach out. We have products available for demo. We will deploy these use cases and let you get hands-on with the technology so you're comfortable with it, and you'll see what a game-changing experience this can be for you when you make the right decision on the devices and Zoom Rooms and what we can really bring value add to your organization and your facility.
Great. Yeah, and I was, as we're moving through a lot of the content that we covered today, there are a lot of really great questions about some of these Zoom features that we talked about. And Scott and I might not have had the right answer for you at the moment. We might not have all the details, but what we will do is we'll connect with our colleagues at Zoom. And a lot of these questions that we don't have time to get to this morning, we'll follow up with you and we'll give you a better answer outside of the webinar today. So with that, we have a QR code here on the screen. If you scan that, that'll take you to just a simple web form that you can complete. And that will allow us to get in touch with you directly. We can set up a meeting one-on-one, make sure that all of your questions are answered. So with that, I really want to thank you for helping drive this presentation, Scott. And thank you everybody at home who tuned in today. Certainly we covered a tremendous amount. I'm sure you guys have lots more questions, so don't hesitate to reach out. We really appreciate your time today. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning.
Absolutely. We look forward to talking to you. Take care. Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.